Alright, YouTube, back again for another market analysis for the London session. We're going to go ahead and start off with S&P 500, then we'll review gold, oil, and Nasdaq for you guys for tonight's London session. And these levels may actually play out into the US session, just kind of depending on the movement we had. Today's US session was some pretty decent sized movement. We saw a slight pull to the upside, couldn't get back up to the resistance, and we saw some failure right at this area right here where we dropped off pretty substantially. So again, we did fill that gap as expected, being above 74, but we did drop off below that, and below that 74 we continued back down into our 40s. So you guys can see 39.75 to about 40 is the area that we found some support. So given that we're at this area right now, you guys can see we have some identified levels for support. We did crack above, well, not even above a prior. We did try to come back into this little bit of a peak right here at this area, but we immediately came right back down. So what we are looking for is for this area right around that 50 to 54 to be holding as some support, and below that you got that very strong level of support coming right in about 40. So we're looking for these two. What we're looking for basically is 1, 2, 3 rotations off this area, and then for a gradual pull back into these 71s to 74s, and then above that's going to be our target to the 90s, and then try to hit the upside of 3400. So you guys can see we're still actually, I would say, still bullish. We would have to crack somewhere around this level right here in order to start being bearish, but given that we came back to a structured level of what was once resistance, so it's not a coincidence that it came installed at this area. It's just this is a strong level of resistance, and you can see why we kind of stalled right here as well, because if we highlight that, that comes up almost perfectly with our green zone on the right hand side over here. So again, we have some opportunities that we're looking for some bounces off these levels of about 50 to 54. If we can get back into that area and get some rotations, we'll probably see some upside movement. Let's take a look at what it would look like with the studies. And hide the studies here. You can see you got the moving averages overhead right now. We're below that S2, and we have touched the S3. Actually went below it with an overnight low down below. So I would say if we start to hold this S3 right over here with some support, then we could try to test that open S1 and then attempt to pivot with the point of control up at the top. So that's what we'd be looking at. Now let's take a look at a 4-tick, get some better ideas of what we're looking at as of right now. So if I zoom this out just a little bit, you guys can see same thing that we were seeing prior. We had some structured drop down below. Well, we had a pretty big markdown move or a impulse move downward. So we're trying to gradually climb above these levels. If we're looking at specific things, there is a huge move opportunity to the upside. So we definitely got to see some support here between 50 to 54. It's going to be our opportunity of trade to the upside. So if we can get that support, we definitely probably see some more upside. If not, we'll probably try to collapse into 40 and see some movement down below if we can get below 40, right? So move some studies up over here as well. And you guys can kind of see what we're looking at as of right now. No real confirmation of trades. You got the 200 moving day moving average over, and also the 50 kind of slightly coming underneath, but S2 being above as resistance. I'm thinking we'll probably gradually pull right back into this area of support right at about 50 to 52, and then we can see if we can find some support with some price action rotations there, and if we can get that, then we can get a good opportunity to the upside. Let's go ahead and take a look at gold real quick together. Being that gold here, we are above a strong level of resistance. We targeted the 20, and we actually got all the way up to, I think, 25. Yeah, 25, 26, and then we gradually pulled down into our support again, which was right over here at about 19 to 20, which was your resistance area prior to this. You guys see if I use an ellipse, we were targeting that 20 there, and again we pushed through that level. There was some opportunity to fade this, but because it didn't go down any lower, you can see it stop right here, and the move to the upside happened again. Came back, used that resistance as some support, and then pretty much bounced off that level. So we're above right now. I would say the only opportunity of trade that I see is, well, actually you got two. You can wait till it comes back between 25 to 26, and if it holds that area as resistance, you can short that back into 20, or you can look for your breakout higher into the 30s. Just know, might be a little bit riskier. If I throw up some other things to give us an idea, we're right at that R3 area. R3 being 1628.7, I think. Yeah, 1628.7. You can see right here with an overnight high, very, very low volume trading up at the top. So I would say maybe right around this area. Let's put a horizontal line for you guys. Right around somewhere right over here. 1627.4, or a really conservative 1628.7 would be your next opportunity to try to fade that back down. But right now you have the moving averages underneath, with the VWAP underneath, with an open underneath, with us being holding the support at the R2, so we may try to attempt that upside. The only thing that we have going for us for a fade right now would be we're above the overnight high, and we have very thin volume trading at the top. So that's pretty much all we got. Everything else is kind of against us. So if you want to take that into consideration, it'd probably be best to see if we can actually get below this moving average a little bit, and then we can target the downside of the VWAP for the move back down, right? So you got a point of control underneath as well. So this is some strong support holding this thing up right now. So I'd be wary of trying to fade that back down just yet. We'll let it kind of play out. If it can play out the way we want to see it, again, we want to see it something along the lines of this. We're going to pull up. When you get that pull up, we're going to try to come and collapse back down. If we're going to do that, then we're going to try to fail this area again, and then we're going to take that short back down, or that fade opportunity back down. So that's what I would probably try to be doing as of right now. I'd be looking for that. Now let's take a look at a 4-tick to give you guys a better, closer view of this right now. So you guys can see, even with the 4-tick, we have we crossed below, but you can see we're kind of gradually still pulling to the upside, and we have that structured of moving averages holding that overnight, kind of holding it. The R2, we're above that. Point of control is underneath. VWAP is underneath, so we might target that upside of 1628.7. So I'd be kind of cautious of trying to fade it as of right now. If we stall at 27.4, again, that's going to be another opportunity for us to look to try to short. But you'll see the moving averages come overhead, and we'll get an opportunity to take that down. So we'll see where we are at the London session. See if we get the opportunity to fade that down, or if it's going to gradually climb from there. Now let's take a look here at we'll do Nasdaq, and then we'll do oil actually today. So bigger picture on Nasdaq, same thing. You guys see we had a move up, and we came back down. So what we're going to look at right now is the areas that we're at. So we found a strong level of support coming in between 68 to, yeah, maybe about 75, 76. That's kind of the area that we found some bounces. So you guys see we had one rotation off this, two rotations, and then again we couldn't come back to the very bottom of it. So we're going to see. I have some sets of rules I want to see before we gradually climb to the upside, but we have our resistance coming in at about 02 to 09. So I'm saying we're probably going to be gradually pulling into that area. But once we see gold fail and this break a little bit higher, I want to see it try to break above this area right here. If we can break above that area and start to hold some support right around here, then I'm going to look for an upside move into the 02 to 10 for Nasdaq. Let's take a look at a closer view on this thing for you guys, everybody underneath. Oh, actually, let's move this off for a second, throw up some of our tools for analysis. You guys can see the moving averages are starting to come underneath and gradually climb underneath for it. You have a point of control holding this. Want to see maybe one rotation. I might even take an opportunity back up into the S2. Nasdaq has a great way of following the volume. So it moves from one volume cluster to the next. So you guys can see we have a target here. High volume node up over there. S2 would be the target on the upside. And probably looking to come right into these volume clusters. So that could definitely be a target of ours to the upside. Let's take a look at what we're looking at on the 4-tick to see if we get a better idea of what that looks like. So Again, we're going to target those areas. We had some slight pushes, see if this falls in line with some of our rules. We had an impulse to make that low right there, and then that's probably going to be around the same area. So more than likely, we might try to test this area right up over here, and then try to come into these arrows. You can see slight resistance there coming in at about 95, 90. All right, so we're at about 84 right now. So I could see we might be able to try to touch that. Let's put up some analysis here. So you can see the moving averages are kind of climbing above it. The 200-day is a little bit above that, and the 50 is kind of right underneath. So what we would say in this scenario is if you are looking for a long opportunity somewhere around here, you'd probably have to do a couple things. One being, you have the point of control, you're right at the point of control. You can maybe say that's going to be an area that we find some support. Moving average is not really holding a support. You want to see something like this where it touches and then they're both underneath, holding that level of some support. We're not really in a very good area to catch that, so you'd be probably looking for a break higher. That's your trade opportunity there, and the risk to reward there might be a little bit skewed, meaning, well, right now at 87 25, you can see where we're playing that. I don't know if the information is really showing right now, but 87.25, we can see it on the right hand side. So you'd be trying to target the 90s, and that's kind of pretty close. So if we were somewhere right around here and that bounce happened, then it would make a little bit more sense, but we're not there. So we'll let this play around. We got a strong resistance again at 04 to 08, or 09. So we're going to kind of hold out to see if we can get that opportunity there. But where we're trading right now, not too much of an opportunity for us to take that to the upside right now. All right, so we'll kind of see what happens there. And let's take a quick look at oil for you all. Let me zoom out of this for a second. So oil finding some structured support coming in. Let's go ahead and extend this. We had some structured level of support right over here, right? So with that in mind, if we hold this level of 53.61, we definitely could see a press into this area right here as some resistance, which is about 54.10 to 53.95. And then also above that, it's going to be some strong resistance as well. So those are going to be our two target areas on this bigger term chart, but want to see it hold some support here, 53.61. Let's take a look at what it looks like on the 4-tick real quick. Let me see. And even with the 4-tick, we got this up right now. Moving averages kind of in between, which is maybe something you want to use, maybe not, I don't know. But you can use other things as well. Given that we're trying to climb up above this and the moving average is slightly coming in, you have a pivot that we touch with an overnight low. Could be an opportunity of an upside move into these peaks right over here. First take profit would be right around 53.80, and you have a point of control up at the top to 53.94. So that's what you can kind of look out for as of right now. Given that we're still climbing on Nasdaq, that could be definitely a decent opportunity to the upside. But yep, that's what we got so far, guys. These are the levels we're going to be looking to play during the London session. If you guys did like these videos or do watch them, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to this channel, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us here at TRADEPRO Academy. Again, my email is david@tradeproacademy.com. You guys take care.